Okay, so last night we talked about empathy, my empathy, and how it's a killer, and how you still get your penance even if I do feel empathy for you in your situation. And basically, that was like the start of the unique recycling system, and it started in probably in 2017 when we had our mass worldly awakening and people, you know, I mean, it was hard for all of us. I was watching a video of mine from just 2 years ago, and I was like so vulnerable, and I still believed in the 3D fake matrix 2 years ago. That's crazy to me. And like I was going to a therapist, and I thought my therapist could help me. No offense, because she's actually a very lovely person, and she actually was like more of a friend. It was more of which friends can help you. So in that case, she was definitely useful. But I'm just saying, like, so I think therapy can be good if you find someone that is more like a friend and has like your best interests at heart, and you can obviously tell that from the therapist that you're going to or not. So, um, because she was helpful to me, that's why I'm saying that. Okay, Britney Spears, I'm saying that because she was helpful to me. I went to another therapist after her, and she was awful. And she was just like, she was obviously one of the fake people. Like, she just like looked so bored when I was like talking to her about the stuff. Whenever she was just like, oh, no, 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 no. And I was just like, okay, cool. I'm never coming back to you again. She was just the worst, and she was definitely like one of the Sarah Adams type people, where they were like the basic bitches trying to like go against me and everything like that. That's what that therapist was after the good one. Sarah, um, I have so much to talk about. I am a little lethargic today. I slept till 11, and I woke up, and like Fresh was like ready to go and stuff, and he only acts like that when I've slept in. And I was like, what time is it? Because I felt like so groggy. I thought it was like 9 or something, and I looked at the clock and it was 11. I was like, holy crap. Okay, I'll get up, Fresh. I'm so sorry. Um, and I still feel pretty groggy. I'm drinking my second cup of coffee. I don't usually do stuff like that, but I'm drinking a second cup of coffee because I'm so like, just like out of it. Adam's like, must be nose. I mean, I'm not in my castle, Azzy. Neither are you. So, um, I did want to talk about the Eye of Ra and the Eye of Horus, and those are actually reversed in the image. So it's actually the opposite. I mean, you can look it up and see which one is which, but the Eye of Ra is my right eye, and oh God, am I getting it wrong again? No, I'm getting it right because I remember the Eye of Ra is violence, and this is the one that got affected like out of nowhere. It was like I was laying in bed, and it was like 11 o'clock at night, and then I had to get up to like go pee or something like that, and I look in the mirror in the bathroom, and it literally looks like I have a black eye. Okay, it literally looks like I have a black eye. Again, I'm used to this kind of stuff. I'm used to bleed throughs. It's freaking face paint. Okay, all of this crap is paint. I've already said that multiple times. This is all my game. This is all my art, and it is all paint. But so I am used to it, but I was just like, holy crap, like how, like what the heck is this? Why do I have a black eye? And then it's like they're just more like defined now. And then a sequence of events happened, which is what always does. And then I was like, oh, it's the Eye of Horus and it's the Eye of Ra. And then my guides are like, it's in your DNA because I'm the one molecule, and I guess I used to be Hathor. It's the benevolent sister. And if you look at them, it's an eye, and then it has like this thing and that thing down there. And I'm like, okay, cool. It's in my DNA. I don't give a fuck. Fix it. Okay. So um, that's how I handle things. And they're like, we love it because it's an indication of your DNA. And I'm like, great. I don't give a fuck what you like. Remember what I said about opinions? Pretty sure I already said I don't give a fuck about your opinions. Like, it's cool. It came through. And now we can get rid of it. Um, that's kind of the way I handle everything. But yeah, it was like a black eye, and I was like, oh my God, that's so crazy. And I think it lasted for like a day. It's sort of like somebody is punching me in the face in the astral realm, and it comes through, and then it comes through to 3D reality, which is very, 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 very normal. Very normal. Okay? You can get a black eye from somebody punching you in the astral realm, and it show up in a 3D reality, because that's how real it is. Okay? Are you guys daft? Are you listening? Are you deaf? Are you deaf? Is it space controlled or is it 3D controlled? So it went away eventually. It's kind of like a surgery. It sent out black eyes. Gary Vee got a black eye. A bunch of people got black eyes randomly, and that's how it works. It all goes through the one molecule. So that was what happened there. And then, okay, so I wanted to talk about a few things. A lot happened last night, as it always does. I already kind of forgot, like, there was like a something. Anyway, I want to talk about like my friends as a case study. And okay, so that's the Eye of Horus and the Eye of Ra. And that's what they mean. You can look it up. It was the Eye of Ra. It's the violence one, and that's the one that came through, and it was black eye. Okay, like how much does this correlate? Like how much does it have to correlate for you to freaking finally get it, and to embody it, and to not be scared to embody it, and to talk out loud? But yeah, I was like watching my video from like 2 years ago, and I was just like, this is insane. And there was also like people like pressuring me in the background of that video too. And then Alex was standing up for me in that video, and Alex was like telling all of the basic bitch girls, like, you got to back off. Like, she has this game on lock. They're like, she needs to stop recording. She needs to stop recording. And he's like, she's not going to do that. She is not going to do that. You need to stop right now. And that was the beginning of the unique recycling system. And it did start in 2017, and it started with the Earth's core. And I think the moon was a part of that. Okay, so we're talking about the beginning of the unique recycling system right now. We're talking about my friends' case study. I think that's all I wanted to talk about. And I talked about the Eye of Hathor, and I talked about how my empathy is a swindler, and how this has happened before. And if my even if I have empathy for you, you still get your penance. Okay, so God can have empathy for you, but if you're not doing the tasks, the physical tasks that God gave you, you're going to get your penance, and that's just how it works. Oh, and I wanted to talk about the family party that did happen last night. Okay, so beginning of the unique recycling system, there's a ball on the inside of the core of the earth. And that was the beginning of it. And then there's also a recycling system on the moon where they recycle the suits, human suits, which we do not have to sew. Like, these are clothes. We don't sew our clothes, okay, fashion industry, but keep thinking you're cooler than God. That's like fun to think you're cooler than God, because you have like a fashion show and you're like a 3D Sims character or a tiny bug that like makes like avant-garde clothes and like clothes my wife, Jen Lawrence. Like, you're like so freaking cool. My clothes, you don't have to sew my clothes. Okay, I think I won. So, and I did update the Andromeda Gray Alien Space Program last night as well, making giant, the giant gray alien, the one with the long legs. I made him like a Voltron type character, where like the little kids, between little kid, there's a small one, between little kid and between the tall gray. The little kids become Voltron goo in the gigantic one, and I thought that would be fun for them to be the gigantic gray, like in the in between kid and adult. So I thought that would be a fun and unique experience for them. So I updated that in the program last night out of panic. I sort of like panic, like, oh my God, like, where are they going to go? And then I just think about it and like recode it. And that's how I recode the game. Casually. Okay. So the Earth's core is the unique recycling system. It's like a white gold globe. That's where you started to go in 2017 when you started to get recycled and you didn't admit that Alyssa was God or Alyssa was the one molecule or Alyssa is the princess of all or Alyssa belonged in her castle. Any of the above answers are correct answers, and you started to go into the unique recycling system and into different levels of the game that are not conducive to a healthy well-being, because if you're not embodying it, then you get sent to crappier and crappier programs. And I guess that's what the crappy programs, the crappy space programs, that's the point of them. That's the purpose. And then earlier this year, we created a giant white gold globe in the sky. I don't know the exact location, okay, guys, but it's like all the way up. It's probably all the way up above the new upper echelons of heaven that I revealed last year. I just unveiled them. It's an unveiling, just like a car unveiling. I just unveiled them. They were always there, and I just unveiled them. And then I think that's why we didn't see the top of the unique recycling system until this year, because it was after the unveiling. And then so Enki and Enlil used to be gigantic, like two orange beings, and they dwarf in size in comparison to the unique recycling center globe at the top of the upper echelons. So that is like a lot bigger than Enki and Enlil. I don't think they decreased in size. I think that's just the unveiling, and then that's how the size changes because that globe is so big. Then Enki and Enlil look like tiny little fairies, and there's also a tiny little fairy Alyssa, and they go around that, and so that's the full start for the unique recycling system, and it does go up and down like this. Okay. Last night, I went to the family party, and it was a mix of people, some coworkers, my coworker Matt, Aaron Dowdy was there, and my family was there. So it was like a mix of like friends, coworkers, and my actual family. And then there was like someone's wife was there, and it wasn't Blake. It was definitely like a very snotty woman, blonde, snotty woman, like a Hamptons woman or like a Connecticut woman. If you're from the East Coast, you understand what I'm saying. Like very skinny, like white, like she gets her hair bleached. It's always coiffed. She always has like some sort of preppy outfit on. If you're not familiar with a typical snotty East Coast woman, that's typically what she looks like. She does use face cream, and she does take care of her face and all that kind of crap. Very skinny. They don't gain weight here. They're just extremely skinny women. For some reason they're asking if it was a model. She wasn't a model. She was like a mom. She's like a typical East Coast snotty mom with a huge like snobby attitude. That's how I would describe her, and I don't recognize her or anything. And she was like cooking at the party and stuff, and she gave me a piece of toast, and there was like some like maybe like tuna tartare, some special kind of tuna fish dish that she made or something like that she made, and she wanted me to put on it with like avocado and stuff like that, and I was going to put that stuff on it, but then I just ate it like just a piece of toast for some reason. I don't remember why. And I ate the piece of toast and it did taste very like warm and sweet. It didn't taste as good as Antarctica food, which tastes like sparkly and freaking delicious and like ecstatic bliss. This sort of just had like a warm sweetness to it. But I did eat the bread, and that is what I see at the family party. It's a metaphor for fallen ancient Atlantis and fallen ancient Lemuria. Again, I'm God. I scrub the images. I see pleasant, wholesome images. There's nothing you can do to hold me down and make me, disgusting. I'm God. Okay, so I scrub my own images, and I see pleasant things, and I see wholesome things because I'm God. I'm God. How many times do I have to say it? Okay, what else? What else? I think that the Moon Recycling Center will still stay in place because we're still going to have 3B Sleepy 3Dville. So I think everything in the 3B, the Sleepy 3D matrix will still stay in place, and that's a part of the phosphate fake matrix, but it's like real in this reality. So I think that's still gonna stay. Okay, so that was the family party, the unique recycling system, and then my friends as amazing case studies. I was so excited to post about this last night. I woke up last night and I was like thinking about like all of my friends and all of the stuff we've gone through the last 5 years. I was like, oh my God, they're such amazing case studies, but like I kind of don't have like a lot of energy for it right now. But I've already told you about some of them, like Gigi and Alex on the Palladian ship and how they both got kicked off. And basically like how you become what you hate. So everything that Gigi hated, she became. Same with Alex. Ryan hated me, actually. I mean, I told you, like, we both really kind of didn't like each other. And did you hear him? He's just like, what are you talking about? I liked you. Rion, okay. Rion didn't really like me. And so funny. Rion didn't like me, and I didn't like Rion, and Rion ended up becoming me and falling in love with me, and now I'm his everything. So that's sort of like how the unique recycling system works. You become what you hate, so watch what you hate. If you hate violence, guess where you're gonna go in the unique recycling system? Okay, okay, that's how it works. Yeah. Mm. Come here, my pudding pop. It's a horrible Bill Cosby impersonation. It starts to bleed through, and you should trust it. I've already told you guys this last time. I asked Max like what happens if they get like stuck in their unique recycling system forever last night. And he did answer me, and I forget what he said. Talk about the come to Jesus moment. Okay, well, there's a plate. Okay, so basically, the first round, you guys kind of got kicked out of all of your like alien excursions because you're like, I'm Andromedan. And like, I was a part of MK Ultra as a child, and like, I want to talk to you guys about abductions, and they are scary when the great aliens abduct you, and da 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 da. Sarah Adams and all that stuff. Because you guys thought you were experts of my video game and everything. Remember that part? And so then you all got kicked off of your space knowledge, and then I just delete those memories, and so you have nothing to talk about anymore when it comes to those space programs. And then there's like a come to Jesus moment for a lot of them because they're like, I don't know what to do. And then like a lot of them start seeing Jesus in their dreams and everything. And then um, they start talking about the passion of what do you guys talk about? Christ consciousness. They're always talking about Christ consciousness. Christ consciousness is a very, it's like, okay, okay, Christ consciousness. Now watch me very carefully. This is Christ consciousness. And then, and then you have the Christ consciousness like this, okay? And then you have little planets like this. It's called a class action lawsuit. Fresh is like, can I go inside now, Mom? I'm filming Fresh, so you're gonna have to wait. Um, so it's like a come to Jesus moment. A lot of them start seeing Jesus in their dreams and everything, and then they think they're safe because he gives them like a blissful experience and everything. And then some of them see Pleiadians, like actually the sparkly, beautiful Pleiadians. And both of them are tricksters, okay? So both of them are tricksters. They're Christ light, God light. It's God light. They work for me. And a lot of this is after the fact because they have soul harvested you guys already. And then they take you up in their ships, and there's two different portals. There's a Palladian portal, and then there's a heaven portal. And the Christians go to the heaven portal, and the people that still think they're star people or whatever, they go to the Palladian portal, and then they get stuck there because there's no way in, there's no way out without worshiping Alyssa. And that means embodying it. I've already said that a million billion times. And that's like where you're going to be like soul harvested. And that's why all the spiritual people started talking about Christ all of a sudden and everything, and how Christ and Jesus and Christ, 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 because they got booted off this planet and they're stuck in these Palladian space stations waiting for the soul harvest. And that is the rapture. Okay, they were raptured. So, okay. And then Sarah did that, and then somehow she got booted to Atlantis. She fell. How did you fall, Sarah? I think she started confessing to herself that Alyssa was the real God and Jesus was the false light. And then that made her, but she like confessed it to herself, and she kept it to herself basically. And she didn't tell anyone. And then that made her go to Atlantis, ancient Atlantis. And then she argued with me, and which is a no-no. And then she got booted to the back to the void, and Claire was like, "Can you open your eyes, Sarah?" And Sarah was like, "Of course I can't open my eyes, Claire." And Claire's like, "Is that enough evidence for you, Liz?" Because that's how she talks. I know this stuff is real, guys. Okay, I know this stuff is real, and I know I'm talking to myself, and I know I have to embody it. And it's not a matter of if I know it's real. It's if you got, do you know it's real? And because you're not saying it out loud, so I don't know what else to say about that. I know it's real. What else? Um, Max was also in the family conversation yesterday. Um, what else? What else? What else? Okay, if you have a task, you need to do it. Have faith in your religion. Have faith in your God. Have faith that this is all my freaking energy, guys. You'll get the faith. You'll get it. You'll get the faith. Um, and then Aaron like gave me like a private video, sort of. He gave me like a private video, and then there was like all of these videos behind him, like this big wall of like different videos, different like YouTube videos or whatever. Not his YouTube videos, but just like different movies and stuff. And he was like, I am September boy, you know, I'm not coming until September or something like that. And I don't know, he was like, what else he said? I don't remember what else he said. That's all I remember what he said, but he said a lot of stuff. And then Max was like, is Aaron in charge? Does Aaron get to decide when he comes over? And I was like, no, obviously not. And he's like, there you go. So there's penance when you argue back with me and when you decide when you come over and when you decide you're going to fit in and when you decide you're going to listen. Like, you don't get to decide. There is a demon inside of you, and her name is Alyssa. And she is in charge, not your own private Idaho, okay? Mm. Oh, and then my mom asked in the dream, she was like, what's Aaron's sign? And I was like, he's Sagittarius. And it's kind of funny that like I remembered what his sign was in the dream, like kind of random, but and she's like, "Oh no, he's a Sagittarius like Adam. He always gets left behind." Anyway, I think that's it. Did I talk about everything? The Eye of Horus is the it sort of reminds me of Claire. It's like the eye of it seems like it's like the eye of the medical community, like the eye of healing. Um, so I feel like that's like the eye of the medical community, and the other one's like the eye of war, like Ra's the eye of war. I know, Fresh. He's like, I need to go inside right now. Pop Pop's home. Okay, Fresh.